going on, everyone? Welcome to the First Down Magazine show. This is
Yes, sir.
Chance to, from a podcast to an official show that we are doing weekly. I'm Jamal and David D. We're supporting our NFL teams today. No real rhyme or reason. It's just one of those days. But David D, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm so excited about this episode because it's another great one. So yeah, let's get going. This one we're gonna start with my little game vlog out in Düsseldorf, Germany. You know, I went out there for Rhein-Fire against Vienna. What did you think about that game? I was watching it.
It was a great game. I think it lived up to the expectations. Obviously, some low-scoring games could be boring, but that was definitely one that lived up to the hype. Lived up to what we wanted to find out about these teams too.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So this episode we have that first, and we have another special guest because as you know, I like bringing special guests every episode, and then of course we're gonna end off with the game picks previewing next week. Maybe you should get a little help for fantasy too, because I'm getting involved in fantasy too this week. So maybe we talk a little bit about that too. But yeah, without further ado, let's start off with
On the Road.
What's up, guys? David on the road again this week. As you know, we're at the Rhein-Fire versus Vienna Viking game, and I'm walking out to the stadium right now. Fortuna Düsseldorf Stadium, Merkurspiele Arena. Yeah, looks nice, huh? Looks pretty damn nice. Yes, sir. There's a flag football game going on. There is a huge tailgate outside, a bunch of fans. It's gonna get packed, it's gonna get loud, very hyped for the game. Let's go. Hey guys, I'm here with Jan Weireit. The game is, I think, about an hour away right now. Yeah, we're gonna do a game prediction.
Yeah.
What do you expect from this game, and what's gonna be the final score in your opinion?
So I'm very excited for the game. It's my first game I'm gonna watch this year. I think I watched one half. I think Paris against Rhein-Fire.
Yeah.
And then I didn't find the time, spent some time with the family, and I was very excited for it. I mean, look at this. Look at the venue.
Truly beautiful.
And I think Rhein-Fire's ready. I think Vienna's ready. As Vienna had a pretty easy schedule, so the first 3 weeks for them was just let's prepare for Rhein-Fire, let's get the game plan ready.
Big test.
They have the old head coach from the Mercenaries just here for today, or he's been here for a few weeks. It's his last game, so it's gonna be So it's gonna be a very, very, very tight game. But I've seen all my old teammates, all my old friends from Rhein-Fire. I've seen Flamo Simon, I've seen Kenzie, and this is a pretty good linebacking squad, man. This is a pretty good defense, a pretty good coaching staff. So I think it's going to be a tight game, and Rhein-Fire is going to win it 23 to 20. I think it's going to be a 3-point game.
I am going to go with 27 to 20, but I'm not going for Rhein-Fire.
Really?
I'm going for Vienna. I had Rhein-Fire winning until the end, until Tuesday, and then we filmed the game picks, and on Monday or Tuesday Vienna Vikings announced that they were signing Aaron Donker.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm going with the Vikings. They have their Aaron on their side.
I talked to a lot of Rhein-Fire players.
Yeah.
They think Aaron is a great player, but they think they're pretty well set on the edges. They think that their tackle matchups against Aaron, what they've seen from practice, they think they got that good. They don't think they got to double team him. They think they're going to have him one-on-one, and that's probably going to be the key of the game. It's like, can Sven Breidenbach win that one-on-one? And they're pretty confident, and I'm pretty confident in them as well, but as I said, it's going to be a tight game. And then I'm wondering, can Vienna score on Rhein-Fire? It's pretty hard to score on them. It's easy to move the ball, or easier. Yeah. It's very hard.
When you get to the red zone, it's something else.
It's very, very hard. So I think, as I said, man, it's a really good game. It's a professional football game here. I'm just as excited as I am for an NFL game, and let's see what happens. Maybe you're right, maybe I'm right.
Cool. It's going to be tough. You have Sven, in my opinion, one of the best European players, offensive line, one of probably, in my opinion, the best European offensive line. Aaron Donker, can we say it, the best European defensive player probably. It's going to be a tough matchup if they want to go one-on-one. It's going to be interesting to follow it through the game.
Hey, but that's what we're here for, right? It's the best against the best. I mean, it's Vienna Vikings been dominating Austria since then the left. Rhein-Fire has been dominating Germany, so that's what we're here for. But I don't think one of the two is going to dominate it. Both going to have their parts, but have an eye for that matchup. Have an eye for, I think Aaron is 91 or 93.
I'm 91, I think.
Yeah, and Sven is 56, the left tackle.
Yeah.
But you know, I played with Sven. I've been known him for I think over 10 years now. So I'm rooting for my guy, man. He used to protect me, and he puts a lot out there, and he just keeps getting better and better, even though he's old, man. Sven, you're old as heck now. You know, like you're an old man. You got to realize. But I think I trust him, man. If I would be Ryan, I'm gonna trust him too. You know.
All right. Well, let's enjoy the game.
Appreciate
Thank you
it,
so
man.
much.
Hey, great work, man. Full first down, Mac.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, man.
All right. Doing national anthems right now. You can see Coach Azume behind my shoulder. Not gonna film in too much because that's not nice. Yeah, we're getting ready, man. The atmosphere is crazy. You've seen the videos from the Rhine Fire getting onto the field. The fans are going nuts. It's gonna be a great game. Let's go. About to kick off. I'm trying to catch the field goal behind me, or the kickoff behind me. Oh no. Already huge for the Vienna Vikings. I already gotta move to the other side of the fucking field. This is crazy. This is gonna be a huge game. It's third down for the Vienna Vikings. 3rd and 4 on the 30-yard line. Stadium is loud. Ben hands it off, and it's a first down for Vienna. Vienna's moving. Vienna's moving already. 3rd and long for Vienna on the first drive. Let's see what they do. It's a pass. Man is going for the end zone. It's a touchdown! It's a touchdown! Number 18, that's Noah Toure. I'm pretty sure it's Noah Toure. Already Vienna's up. 6 points. Let's stick around for the field goal. Or for the PAT. Vienna's going for 2. Vienna's being aggressive as fuck. Wow. Wow. Vienna want to go up by 8. Horn in motion. Ben follows him. It's picked. It's picked. Number 4 is up. Ooh, he gets laid onto the ground, but 6 points only for Vienna. They're not able to convert this 2-point conversion. Vienna to kick off after the quick score. First drive for Rhine Fire. Of course, back to return is Jordan Bua, the speedster from Italy. High kick. Oh, bobbled by Jordan. Ooh. Ooh! Alright, Jordan found a hole and he was able to get a bunch of yards. It's a run. Nothing to do, man. This Vikings defense is ready. It's gonna be 3rd and long, I think. Maybe 2nd and long. It's a punt for Rhine Fire on the first possession. Let's see how it goes. Whoop. Fucking hell. He's tackled inside the 5. That's going to be hard for the Vienna Vikings to get out of. There was a foul on the play. Vienna is not starting inside the 5. We're going long right away. Oh, it's a screen. Man, Vienna is doing great play so far. They're struggling so hard. Rheinfire defense to stop this Vienna offense. Vienna got 2 first down in 3 plays. That might be another one. Second and short. Vienna is moving the ball without any issues in the first quarter. They're getting first down after first down. Only one third down played so far, and it was an easy first down again. Oh, Ben is getting sacked. Ben is getting sacked, and the place gets rowdy. Ooh, there's a flag on the play though. Let's see what the flag is. Maybe an holding, maybe a roughing the passer, but I don't think so. The flag is against Rheinfire. It's gonna be a first down again. Automatic first down on the for the Vienna Vikings. First and 10. It's a run play. Was it enough? It was short. I think it was short. I think there's refs are calling short, so it's going to be a fourth down. Probably a field goal for the Vienna Vikings, who could go up 9-0. Field goal for Vienna. Let's see if some crazy stuff happens. Kick is up. The kick is no good. No good. 6-0 steal. Fans are happy with that one. It's another punt for Rheinfire, who can't get going on offense. This is the opposite of what we've seen pretty much on the championship game last year. Vienna set to start from their own 18-yard line, so inside the 20, but they were starting from close to there on the last drive. They made it all the way down the field and kicked the field goal. They didn't kick it in. It was no good, but at the same time they still drove the whole field pretty easily. Vienna is nonchalantly rushing the ball on this Rheinfire defense. They're getting like 11 yards a pop this drive. In general, I'm pretty sure they have more than 6 yards per run so far. Truly impressive, man. Vienna is a team to be reckoned with this year. I don't know if Ryan's got it, if Rheinfire's got what it takes. Rheinfire might not have what it takes to win this one. The sun came out. It's always beautiful when it does. Sun shining, and Vienna is shining too. Another great run. It's probably going to be more like 5-6 yards this time, but Rheinfire needs to find some solutions right now. They need to find some ways to come back at this Vienna Vikings offense and defense too. They're not able to do anything right now. Players are getting rallied too. They are continuing to fight after the play. That's going to be a flag on both of them pretty much. After the punt from Vienna, that's going to be a first down it was going to be from like the 35 for Rheinfire. Might be a lot longer now, because I don't know, depends who the flag goes against. Flag ultimately was against Vienna, so first warning for the player that got called for it, and Rheinfire is starting the drive on their logo from the 50-yard line. Let's see what they can do with it. Chad's running way further than the first down. It's going to be a first down and 10 from the 25-yard line for Rheinfire. Rheinfire finally getting close to the red zone for the first time this game. Let's go. Let's have a game on our hand.
Der Apostel Horizontal Junior, aber Anwendungsprivilege der Captain der Vienna Vikings.
It's going to be a third down for Rhein Fire. Golden boy motion.
Da ist die Line points der Vienna Vikings.
40-plus yarder attempt. Kickers lining it up. Start getting on the scoreboard too. You gotta get on the scoreboard against a team like Vienna. Always a classic. Kids versus mascots game. Halftime show is on point too. What a day in Düsseldorf it is today, man. Fucking loving these vibes, man. Second down for the kids. Pass. Pass is intercepted. Love this, nice. Kofi's hurt on the ground after making a fantastic catch for a gain of like 15, something like that. But now he's hurt on the ground. There's medics around him checking. I hope it's not something serious, because it would hurt to see such a great talent lose even a few games. It would hurt for Rhein Fire to lose him, but in general for the league and the entertainment level, sucks. It would suck. It's a run for Rhein Fire. Nowhere to go, man. The rushing game is non-existent for Rhein Fire so far. Their best rusher in the team is Chad Jeffries. Third down for Rhein Fire in the first drive of the third quarter. Chad is passing it incomplete. Great play on defense. Maybe another kick. Nah, it looks like they're going for it. Fire going for it on 4th and 6. Breaks up the pass. And then play from Ben, walks it down, slows it up again. He's leaking back to the side. It looks like Kofi is not well. Huge play to start, Keith. Huge play. And it's the first down from Rhein Fire inside the Vikings half. Chad is throwing it. Ooh! So close to being intercepted again. 49 is celebrating, but that should have been a pick, man. Get your hands straight. Chad looking to pass it. It's a short pass. He's just getting the ball out. Too much pressure from that amazing Vienna Vikings defensive line. And it's going to be a third down. Yeah, third down and 10 after the amazing play by Starkey. Tough. Please do not make me see another 6-0. Please. I'm begging you, start scoring some points, somebody. Anybody, score some points, please. Okay, 37. Huge play here. Starting the board. Run. Shoot. First down. People are able to catch something. And it's a touchdown! Oh my god! It's actually a touchdown for the Vienna Vikings. That's 12 points. Let's stick around for the PAT, but that's 12-0, and it's start of the fourth quarter, 2 scores up. That's huge for Vienna. They're going for 2. Ben rolls out. Oh, he's throwing it back. I don't mean twerking when they say throwing it back. It's an incomplete pass, by the way. So it's going to stay at 12-0. Ben is not happy with that one, to be honest. Right fire on offense. now we got Rhine from the 16, their own 16, down by 12 points. About 12 and a half seconds, or 12 minutes and a half, something like that, left in the fourth quarter. Plenty of time to do something, but you need to start playing some good offense, man. You haven't been playing great offense all the time, and that's just... You might have got him back to the yard. He did, he lost the yard, so that's going to be a sack. So a loss of 4 on a run, and then a sack to start off this crucial drive. Kind of sums up the whole game so far for the Rhine Fire. Head is sticking around in the pocket, able to throw it. They've cut down the lead by half, and now they get a chance at a PAT. Michael Versoon is around and see. Getting a good angle on the PAT, trying to see what's happening. That's my dad behind my shoulder, by the way. Shout out to who's our magazine creator of the creator. The kick is shit, but it's good! But it's good! 12-7, Rhine Fire is back in this. It's now Rhine Fire on offense. Chad Jeffries. Russ is out. Good run, good run. Ball 3 yards. Going to sack, gets a couple yards. Positive play. Good stuff from Chad. We'll try to catch this play. Show you guys what I'm seeing, where I'm from. No, I'm not talking about Italy, like where I'm from on the field. Almost sacked. Bounces up in the air. Not in the air. On that play that you just saw, it was a holding by the defense call against, of course, the Vienna Vikings. And now it's going to be a first down and 10. Automatic first down, of course, from the 19. Wow. Big call. I'm not going to lie, I didn't see much. Could have been, could have not been. I don't have the greatest angle. You saw it with me. Big call though, because it's from the 19. It's a pass. It's out to Harlan. Harlan is able to get 9 yards. It's going to be a second and very, very short. 4th down and 2 now. Tough one. 1st down and 2. This is a huge fourth down, because if Rhine Fire gets this, the momentum keeps going and they can go on to score and get the lead. If Rhine Fire doesn't, then the momentum shifts again, and then Vienna Vikings can use the amazing rushing plays that they've been doing for the whole game. It's complete. It's complete. It's a first down. Number 8, I think it's Schlesinger. I'm not sure. Maybe it was mine, Schlesinger. I'm not sure. It's a first down though. First down for Rhine Fire from the 24. Huge first down and 1 for the Rhine Fire. I'm showing you my point of view on this one again. It's a fumble snap, able to get rid of it. Vienna Vikings players are injuring themselves by celebrating, as you can see there. Yeah, first down for Vienna. Vienna starts inside their own 10-yard line. Short gain, probably just 1 yard, maybe not even, on the first down. Yeah, they gave him 1 yard. It's gonna be tough for Vienna. They need to waste as much time as possible. Try to go down the field field, but avoiding stopping the clock while doing it. 3rd down and 7. Ben Holmes is passing it. Resource gets it. And Resource is getting the first down. That's way more than the first down. And they can let the clock run too because it was tackled in bounds. We're now below the 5-minute market to the end of the game. Again, get to my point of view. That was like a loss of 5. There's now 2nd and 15. Great play on defense, honestly. That was nasty, man. That was so nasty. But yeah, 2nd and 15. It's another run. They're just getting the 5 yards back. Just getting the 5 yards back. It's going to be a 3rd and 10. Huge 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10. Ben is getting pressured. And he gets it out to number 87, who's not able to hurt the over a guy and gets stopped short. It's going to be 4th down and probably a punt for Vienna. Because if I was them, I will trust my defense. They allowed only 7 points so far. You got to trust your defense on 4th and 2. They might not though. Benny's not coming out. Timeout. Let's see what happens. Looks like they're punting it. That's a smart decision to be honest. Trust your defense. Punt is up. Caught. They're returning it. Vienna's going for a flag. Great return. What a return. It's going to be a first down from the 40, I don't know, around the 40 of Vienna. So again, Ryan Fire on a short field, and they need to put up points. Let's see if they can make it. Chad is passing it. Starkey doing back to it. Gonna be 9 yards, looks like it. 2nd and 1. He did a front flip on that stuff. Wow. Wow, he landed hard on his ass. 2nd and 2. Yeah, 2nd and 2. For Brian Fire. Snap. Chad Jeffries. Looks, searches, still searching. Gets the ball out, and it's going to be a first down. Starkey again. Huge. Starkey is coming up on the big drive. On the most important part of the game, Starkey is showing up. After that huge first down, Ryan Fire, after the 2 minutes warning, gets the ball. Ball is out. What a catch, man. Starkey, in between like 2 players, is able to snag it out. What a catch. It's not going to be many yards. It's probably going to be like 2 yards, but great catch. It's going to be 3rd down and 5. 3rd down and 5, a minute 19 left. Ryan Fire needs this first down. Needs it. High snap. Chad gets rid of it. Oh my God, that was so close to being an interception. Wow, that was so close to being an interception. Pick him up, bro. Lucky was so close to getting lucky there, bro. So it's going to be 4th and 5. Game on the line pretty much because now it's a minute 14. Ryan Fire has 1 or 2 timeouts, I'm not sure. But still, game on the line because, yeah. If they don't get this first down right now, Vienna may be able to close it. Let's go, 4th and 5. Chad gets the ball, low snap. Throws it. Oh, Starkey again. Starkey again. Oh, Harlan Kofi. Oh, Harlan Kofi. First down, what a snag there. That was a contested ball, but Harlan is coming up with it, and that's huge. It's gonna be 1st and goal. Chad's going for it. Ooh, almost beat. Wow, what a final. Right. second and 10. Second and goal, actually. Second and goal from the 10. Chad gets the ball. It's a pass. Blown up. Wow. That was Jordan Bua again, not able to finish up the job. He caught the ball, but he was tackled hard right after catching it. And that's an incompletion. Snap. Third and 10. Third and goal. Thrown on the ground. Thrown on the ground, and it's going to be a fourth down again. First down and goal from the 10. Wow. Tight final. 37 seconds to go. If they don't get this one, it might be over for Ryan Fire. Get an angle on it. From closer. I shouldn't be here actually, but Chad's passing it. Incomplete. Incomplete, the game is over. The game is over. The Vikings are going to be rushing for the rest of the game. And that's going to be a win for the Vienna Vikings in Ryan Fire's house in Düsseldorf. Wow. Yep, so as expected, Vienna closes out the game by kneeling. Wow. Wow, 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 what a game. It's going to be a long, long, long rivalry, this one in the league. This is the first one of many, and this one is in the books. It's part of history now. It's 12-7 for the Vienna Vikings. If I'm being completely honest, it's not even about having them in the game picks. Vienna deserved to win this game. They played better. Ryan Fire gave it a hell of a shot at the end there, but Vienna deserves to win it. So happy for Vienna. Sucks for Ryan Fire. A lot of stuff to fix for Ryan Fire, to be honest. But yeah, I'm off to do my interviews. Rightfully celebrating with the fans. By the way, shout out to the fans that show out in Düsseldorf from the Vienna Vikings. They're legendary. We need more guys like you. Back to the studio.
Well, we're back in the studio now. That was a nice little segment that Davide hits the road, going on the road, and he got to experience obviously one of the games of the year so far. And you know, it was definitely, as we mentioned, worth the hype and worth the advertisement. So, our next segment, what do we got next, my man?
Well, first of all, I have to apologize to the fans because, as you've probably seen from watching on the road, my mic really broke during the game. Because I kept on bringing it. It was a wire mic, so I kept on bringing it in and out. Gave up on me. I'm still recovering audio. I hope he's going to be fine in the vlog. But yeah, apologies about the quality not being up there for the whole thing. But yeah, next segment, we are going to do the huddle. The huddle is where we bring up current or former player and break it down, see how it's going and stuff like that. Stuff about the league. We're going to talk a bit about ELF ball and stuff. So moving on to the huddle.
I'm not announced the guest. The guest is one that I was really excited to bring on the show because he was a great guest on the ELF live show, and I've been waiting to get him on ever since. First quarterback to achieve 1,000 yards in the season. And of course, I'm talking about REID SINNETT of the Madrid Bravos. What do you think about this guest, Jay?
Hey, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for REID, excited for this caliber of player to come into the league. Obviously, as a Mercs fan, I got some things I want to talk to Mr. REID about. Obviously, with the hit heard around all of Europe and everything that happened that past Saturday with DeMarco. So I'm excited to chop it up with him about that and kind of get his thoughts on that.
Let's get straight into it then.
Was DeMarco Artis rightfully ejected in your opinion, or was it too soft of a call maybe from the ref in your opinion?
I'm glad that Jamal's here for this. So,
I'm gonna sit back and enjoy this.
Yeah. So there's context to this, and DeMarco, right? Like, he apologized to Andrew on the field, and so there's no bad blood or anything like that. He didn't try to find me after the game or anything. I wouldn't have been in a position to want to chit chat with him. But how many times have you seen that in the NFL or in college? That just doesn't happen, right? And I understand what his rules are. There's one clip of Jared Goff where he kind of gets wrapped up and brought to the ground, and the guy celebrates, but he realizes after the fact that he, screwed something up.
Yeah.
the context is we're winning the game by a lot. We're running the clock out. It's late in the fourth quarter. He hasn't hit me all game because I get the ball out of my hands. And then he runs straight through my midline with his helmet right on my chin. Come on, guys. Like, it's 100% an ejectable offense. It should have been, it's a penalty. It should be an ejectable offense. If that happened in another league, and I know that this is the ELF and not the NFL and all that stuff, he's suspended for at least another game. Like, there's no question in my mind that that's the reality of it. And his job is to play contain, and I get that stuff. But there was no chance he was playing anything other than playing me. And if we had cut that run back, he's in no position to actually play what his responsibility is. So I can't tell you what his intentions are or anything like that. I don't know what he was feeling in that moment. But the hit of what that is not a football play. And I watched tape on this team. They've made some plays that are not football plays. And, like, I don't think that that's, like, just because I booted or whatever does not give guys just a free shot to just say, I haven't hit the quarterback all day. Let me take my shot, especially when I'm not defending myself. If you guys watched the game, which I think you did, there's a couple times on play actions where, like, I don't get to the top of my drop because I know that's where he's going. So for me to turn it around and, turn my shoulders and get hit in the teeth like that, I don't think is a football play at all. And I can't say what his motivations are, but Jamal, come on, man.
Well, I'll say this. Well, first of all, obviously, the first time meeting each other, I played football in Switzerland. This was before ELF, so I root for Helvetic. So the fact that you had the performance you had, I kind of think you owe me an apology, for what you did this weekend. That's rule number one.
No.
Number two, where I was coming from with that video is I had talked or had heard from some people saying, like, oh, cheap shot and he should be ejected. Like, people just, like, automatically going for DeMarco without obviously understanding in regards to, like, as a contained rusher, his rules and probably what he was thinking. And I thought, and how it looked, it was bang, bang. Like, as soon as you handed the ball off, and as contained rushers, we're taught rush away, mesh away, whatever, climb for boot just as it happened. And it looked like once you hand the ball off, the minute you turn is when he got there. Obviously, head to the helmet. No, that is what it is. That's not allowed in today's day and age. I thought it was a lot closer in regards to what everyone was making it out to be versus it just being like a dirty hit. And if there was cutback, but even if it is cutback, that's not his responsibility. His responsibility is boot if you decide to get out. And I get what you're saying. Like, obviously, you weren't touched all game. So for that play at that time, context, I get that. I get that part. But I was coming from a perspective where people were just like attacking DeMarco. I'm like, hold on one second. I got to throw, like you just said, I got to throw some context into this so you guys kind of understand at least the defensive side on that part.
And if he had played and, like, taken a wide angle with me and then, like, taken me to the ground and then been like, oh, my bad, I thought you had the ball, much different conversation.
Fair point.
But he took a straight line right to the top of that mesh point, and I turned, and, like, there's not in any world am I thinking that he's going to hit me like that. And I know that he's rushing high the whole game. Like, that's what he's trying to get to the quarterback and stuff. But, we're going to get another chance at them again. And, I think that I frustrated some of the pass rushers because, like, I'm not going to get hit. I'm going to get the ball out of my hand. Yeah. That's how I play this game. And so it felt like it was a chance for him to get a hit in. And I think if that, like, starts to be, you can't allow that to happen, because if guys start doing that, then, who's to say that every time I boot now you're just a free target to take a shot at? That's, I think, the other part. But I agree with there's a technique to be played. But
I get that, and I get that part too. If you just saw some of the people that at least I've heard or talk about, like, oh, like dirty play, blah blah, I'm like, hold on, kind of understand at least where he's coming from. I understand, like, obviously where you're coming from too, but there's more than just like what just happened and, like, react. Let's break it down a little bit. But hey, we heard it from both sides. Let everyone else decide. I'm still waiting for my apology.
No, it's not coming. Not gonna happen.
All right, so let's get back on what we were talking about. We were talking about REID's vlog so far. I know Jamal watched the vlog too. Yeah, I was just getting into praising the not only how good you are on camera, and like it's fun to follow you because it's so cool to see an inside view from a guy that has your experience, of course, but like the production value and the editing and like everything all together it's really well done. So I had to compliment you on that. And then second of all, can you break down what's the next episode? Can you give us something to be excited for? What's coming?
Yeah. So, I don't know how many guys watched our game against Hamburg, and I think you can look at our record and notice that, but that was a really fun game. It was crazy. It was back and forth. We made some mistakes offensively. I missed the most wide open receiver I've ever had in my life twice. It happened twice. So, there were some growing pains that we dealt with in that game, and I hope that we can capitalize that. But, I think there's some really cool things that will come out about like the culture and the tradition here. We talked to the ownership here for the Madrid Bravos and their journey to becoming owners and how this team has come about. Got to spend some time with the Carrasco brothers, Carlos, who's our center, and Javier, who's our middle linebacker. And they're kind of the heart and soul of our team, I think. And we're going to highlight a little bit of their family business here in Madrid. We dressed in those chulapos for San Isidro. So there's a little bit of that stuff in there. So it's going to be fun. And I hope everybody can keep following along. And then, for you guys, is there anything that you guys wish you got to see or, in future episodes you would like to see more of?
Yeah, I want to see you run with a bull.
That's not going to happen really either. You'll see it a couple times a game, but, not more than that.
No, most definitely. No, I mean,
Wait, Mark.
I think it's cool to kind of give this experience. Obviously, not everyone has lived the life you lived or a life I lived when I played over there preseason. So it's cool to get that behind the scenes aspect of it. But literally anything that you're experiencing over there is an opportunity to share and teach and learn. So I always say the more of like Bill's experience or the more about the culture, or it sounds like you're about to dive into like a lot of those things, the better too. Because it's not just all about football. This experience is very unique. It's not like playing in like the CFL or even the UFL. Where I would probably say it's more business-like. This is, opportunity to play, but opportunity to learn, develop, and grow as a person, and a place that's probably outside of anybody's comfort zone.
Yes, sir. Well, on my part, I do interviews a lot. I interviewed you as well after the Hamburg game. So my question is, on the vlog, are you able to bring, not even much about post-game, because it's nice to break down after post-game. It's going to be interesting, but it's probably easy to film. I don't know if it's parts of it. Pre-game, like the environment, the feeling within the team and stuff like that, anything in the locker room, are you able to bring that part too? Because I know Madrid is a little bit strict, and I get it. Madrid is a very fancy city and stuff. So are they allowing you to do any of that part?
I think there's been awesome collaboration between myself and the ownership and our social media team. And, this was something that I presented very early on, like, hey, here's kind of my vision for this. You tell me if it's too much or too little or how we can support each other and things. And so they've been very supportive on that. Yuste, who's doing our game footage, has been great. Paula, who does all of our photography and stuff like that. And then Nacho, who's the head of our social media team. They've been very supportive on all that stuff. There's a little aspect too of like, I need to focus on my stuff and I don't want to be sticking my camera in people's faces, especially before the game and stuff. But, I'll try to see how much I can incorporate that stuff in, especially now that we're going on the road and stuff like that. And I hope that, maybe there's some behind the scenes things that I can share and get an opportunity to show everybody because, like you said, there's only, and getting to play, right? There's nothing like a locker room. And I think everybody always wants an inside look. And I think in the NFL, I got more questions about like, what are guys really like than I did about anything else. And so getting to share that and show that, I think is a really cool part of it.
Yeah, because that's something that I can't do. I've been wanting to do it a lot, but of course, every team is like, hey, that's us. That's the locker room. That's not, we can't allow you in there. And I fully understand that, but you're part of it. So bring something out of it. It's nice. I promise it's nice. Last question about the vlog would be, why did you decide to start doing it now? Like, why right now? I would have followed REID SINNETT in the Miami. I would have followed REID SINNETT in the Eagles, even though I'm repping the Giants and I wore a Giants jersey purposely for this line. Why did you decide to start doing it only now?
I mean, I think that there's something about while you're in it in the NFL, and especially with my role on those teams, I was doing everything that I could to just be on the team. You know what I mean? So my nutrition, my, the physio and how I was taking care of my body, all of those things. So I didn't want to add other distractions to what I was trying to accomplish, if that makes sense, because I truly, believed at the time that if I handled my business, I could make enough money that I would never have to worry about money again, And so it wasn't on the front of my mind. And then this was an experience that I had researched going into my last year of college. I didn't know that I was going to get an NFL opportunity. So I knew what the GFL was, and I had looked at playing for a team in Sweden. And so getting to come over here was something I had planned on doing. And I think it is such a cool experience to get to share. And, I've become a content creator to some extent. I don't necessarily love saying that, but that's what my business has required of my business. And so it felt like a really cool opportunity for me to get to share another unique story. And, the guys have embraced it a lot. And I am excited to tell more stories about the individuals on this team and how important, the camaraderie is and things like that. So it's been a fun process, but it wasn't really something on my radar until, relatively recently.
Nice, yeah, and he's gonna be
Actually, I have a
super
request
cool
for
to look back.
Actually, I have a request for the vlog. When the next time when you guys play Hamburg, right? Obviously, you played with Tua. You're gonna be playing against his brother. Not sure if you know him prior to or whatnot, but would love to see if there's a conversation or just meet. Obviously, you guys have a mutual connection, and hopefully Tua is at the game.
That would be awesome. I wonder if Tua is going to make a trip out here. I'll shoot him a text. But Talia and I trained together a few times because I was training with Tua, obviously, in South Florida while I was there. And so Talia throws it as well as anybody I've ever seen on the run. Like, his ability to throw on the run is unbelievable. And so I'm intrigued to see how he continues to develop in the league. And, there's something to be said about this level of football, and same with the UFL, where if stuff's not there on time, you have to be able to make plays on your feet. And sometimes leagues like this are beneficial to that. We saw Isaiah Weed this last week run around and make some plays just when stuff wasn't open. And you're like, can we just get him down, please? There's definitely a part of that that's kind of innate in this, version of football. But the Dolphins come to play in Madrid as well. So, I'm going to connect with Tua and some of the guys that I'm still buddies with and see about trying to find my way back out here to come to that game and, tell more stories and stuff like that. So I'll see if I can convince Tua to come to a game in Hamburg. I don't know how well that'll go, but they might. I don't know what time of the year that is too. They might even be in training camp, but I'm intrigued to see how Tua does.
Yeah. So can you say, are you expecting Talia to make a bounce back from the first game? We know the first game wasn't pretty, but it was on a short notice and everything. Plenty of stuff that was gonna go wrong. Short notice, playing against one of the best defenses in the whole league and stuff like that. Are you expecting a huge bounce back from Talia?
I mean, when you come in on short notice and you have to learn a system and you don't know your guys and you don't know what the routines are, you don't know any of those things, it's very hard. So, we can sit here and make excuses and all that stuff, but the reality is that's a tough situation to get yourself put into. So I would imagine that there's an upward trajectory from that, just because of the time change and getting used to new foods and, a new residence, all of those things. So there's no doubt that played a factor into it. So I'm intrigued to see how he continues to progress.
Yes, sir.
You being in Madrid, and obviously we're about 4 weeks in now, we're about the time where, people are starting to get hurt, you're starting to see the depth come into play with some of these teams. What do you feel like about your team, and what do you feel like you still need to figure out about, Madrid as you continue going into the season?
I know for a fact that we have the opportunity to be very explosive, and I want to figure out for myself and for our group why we try to beat ourselves. And it showed up in all 3 games where we're making unforced errors. I've dropped a snap. I've missed wide open receivers, and you have those things happen and you're like, what is going on here? And sometimes there's, we need more time to build chemistry, and we need more time for these reps and things like that. But it's hard to get that with the way the schedule is set and all that stuff. So, I want to figure out for myself how I can connect better with these guys and motivate and make sure that we play to the best of our ability. And I think that there's expectations now, right? The Bravos had a great performance last year in their first season. And so guys are feeling like, hey, we need to be competing for a championship, or what are we doing here? And I think that we've played with a little bit of tightness. And, I want to take that pressure, and, I feel like I can wear that on my shoulders and let other guys play free. And I think that we're going to be a much better team. And, in the NFL, they talk about, you want to be peaking around Thanksgiving, right? You don't want to come out of the gate super hot, win a bunch of games, and then start to plateau because teams kind of figure you out. But I think that what we've shown in the first 3 weeks is that we have made progress in terms of how we are moving the ball. We're making less mistakes. We're making less costly mistakes. But, you see in the Frankfurt game, we have a couple of touchdowns called back. We have a drop on a 4th down that results in an interception. I call the play the wrong way and it leads to an interception, right? We have little things that are like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, we can control these things. And, we had a conversation, I'm not a stat guy. The thing that matters to me is like whether we win or lose. But I think we've had double-digit touchdowns called back, or, had dropped, or like had a major mistake, and you think about our team, if we've scored 70 more points, I think you probably think a little bit differently about who we are as a team and how we've played so far. But that's the reality of the sport, right? People do make mistakes. None of us are perfect. So continuing to minimize those mistakes and get closer to who we're going to be as an offense, especially.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
flags in particular. You had like more than 15 flags last week. In general, all of the previous weeks, touchdowns are coming back. Well, I remember when I was out against Hamburg week 1, you had like 3 touchdowns coming back. 2 of them were because of flags. One was because of the close call, the fumble for Nico Barrow. But 2 of them were because of flags. And you could see Aaron was really frustrated about that because he scored 2 touchdowns and they never counted. So what are you doing for this flag situation?
The flags I won't necessarily comment on. I think everybody's trying their best with that stuff, and some go our way, some don't. Guys are playing hard, and so there's times where this last week it felt like we were beating somebody on a block and somebody ends up on the ground and there's a flag that comes out and you're kind of like, I thought we just won that block, but it's not my job to make those decisions. So, and Aaron, I think in that first game could have had 4 touchdowns, and you kind of look at it and you're like, dang, dude, I'm sorry, man. Like, I missed you on a couple and we're making those mistakes, but it's something that comes with the sport, right? And we have to be a disciplined group. And, I think the stereotype of the Spanish guys, right, is that they're fiery and they're intense and, they're going to fight and those things. And part of that is making good decisions so that we're not committing penalties in important situations. And we've done that so far. And that's what I mean about we have to find ways to not beat ourselves. And that starts with myself and how we operate.
Yes, sir. Let's move on to previewing next week's games. We're going to use this as a segue to get into game picks. I can tell you in the game picks, everybody is giving Madrid as a winner against the Enthroners this week. So first of all, how are you preparing for the game? Second of all, this is going to be your first game on the road. So how are you preparing to travel and stuff?
Preparing for each opponent is the same for me. I go about my process the same way each week. It doesn't matter if it's a championship or you're playing your first game, right? I try to stick with that stuff as much as possible. That's something that I learned as a professional, and I encourage, our guys to embrace that same mentality. That way, then you can separate from the result, right? If your process is great, the result is going to be what it is. And if you put your best effort out there, whether you win or lose, I think you can be proud of what you do. That being said, first road game leads to some new things with your routine, right? I got to figure out what it looks like. It was funny. I was trying to, handle my business stuff, put my calendar together. And I asked our ops guy, Sebas, hey, what time are we flying? He said afternoon. I'm like, great. So I block off from like 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. I'm like, that's the whole afternoon. And then I'm like, Sebas, what time are we actually flying? And he said 8 p.m. And I'm like, that's not the afternoon. That is not afternoon.
That's Spanish afternoon.
That's the evening. That's nighttime. Like, you could have said we're flying at night and I would have blocked that time off, And so there's little things like that I'm, still getting figured out. The Spanish culture is different. But I'm excited. I think that there's a lot of camaraderie and things that come when you travel together. You're forced into close quarters, right? You travel, you hang out on the plane, you hang out in the hotel, you hang out on the bus. All of those things I think are going to be beneficial for our team, especially where, we have all these Madrid players that aren't living in the same, place that we are. So we've had less forced fun. And so I think it's going to be great for our team to get to spend some time together on the road these next couple of weeks and, see what comes of that team bonding stuff.
Nice. Yeah, so thank you so much, Reid, for breaking it down with us. Everybody go check out Reid SINNETT's YouTube channel and support the Madrid Bravos for, hopefully an amazing season and starting from next week against the Enthroners. Thank you for coming by.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, and I really appreciate it. I'm having a great time out here, and it's always good to chat with you guys about what's going on across the league.
All right. Can't wait for the next vlog, yeah?
Awesome. I'll get it out soon.
Yeah, so after saying goodbye to Reid, that was a great interview with him. We're moving on to game picks. This is the usual suspects, me and Jamal in game picks. Let's break it down another time for week 4 now. Wow, we're moving, man.
Week 4. We are officially a quarter away through the season. After this
nice. It's flying, bro. It feels like yesterday we were watching week 1 and we were all excited for the start of the season. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir. So what's the first matchup that we want to break down?
So the first matchup we got, the Prague Lions travel to Poland and play the Wrocław Panthers.
Yes, sir.
That's the first game we're all in agreement about.
Not all of us, actually, I can tell you, because some crazy guy, he sent an audio in the group chat. He was like, I've been rolling with my own picks for the whole year. So if I switch it up right now, I'm going to feel like a dumbass if I don't get them right? And of course, you know who we're talking about. It's Matt Bresson, who went with Prague. I don't know about that decision, to be honest. I think the Panthers have, I won't say an easy win. It's going to be a tough game on both sides, but I think the Panthers are going to edge this one out for sure. What do you think?
Absolutely. Stats show, as you are looking at this graphic, that it is not a good idea to have the same picks as Matt Bresson.
Yeah. Boys sitting at 16 and 6 is so less.
But talking about this game a little bit, I'll tell you what. I think this game is a lot closer than people think. You think back to 2 years ago when Prague first entered the league, and they went in there with Shaz Humphreys as their quarterback, and they almost actually beat the Panthers. Granted, different team, totally understand, but that was also a Panthers team that was also talented as well too. I think obviously Prague's a better team. I'm not just taking from the win against the Thursday. I think they're a better team in general. I would like Prague if Wrocław wasn't coming off a bye. I think coming off a bye, coming off a loss, I think one of the things that the Panthers do well that the Lions struggle against is the run game. I think David Brzozowski getting 5 carries when they went to Storm was an anomaly. I think we'll see a lot more of him this week. To me, it makes sense, especially at home. Panthers for the win.
Yeah, let me give you this question then, because we know a bunch of guys are getting involved with fantasy, and we want to talk about fantasy a little more too. For Fantasy LF, of course, I'm talking about. Do you think David Brzozowski is worth his capital? I haven't checked his capital, to be honest, but do you think he's worth starting for this week?
I think he's a good play. I think it's a good play just because what we just said. I think the Panthers struggle against the run game. You saw what Hamburg did to them. You saw, and who they play week 1? They played Vienna. No, I think they played Vienna week 1. Kari had 2 touchdowns. So they struggle going against the run. I think the only thing that would not make them struggle is if the Panthers get in their own way, like they did against the Storm, and not use David Brzozowski the right way, or not use DJ Irons the right way. I think you got 2 guys that can run the ball that are explosive enough to make plays. Don't get cute. You don't got to worry about getting cute. Sometimes all you got to do is play fast and physical and run the ball, even when they know it's gonna happen. So I would say David Brzozowski would be a better play, in my opinion, than DJ Irons.
Yes, sir. And I can tell you from my interview that I did a couple weeks ago with the head coach Kuligowski of the Panthers, he said his goal would be to give David 20 touches every game. And he had 5 last game, so I'm expecting 35 this week, He owes back up.
Yeah, he owes David some touches for sure.
Yes, sir. Right. We're moving on to another great matchup this week. It's so exciting this year, man. Every week we get 2-3 maybe even 4 like good toss-ups, great matchups. And of course, I'm talking about the game in Duisburg, Rhein Fire against Paris. Both teams are coming off tough losses, close losses. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I mean these two teams are kind of identical. Both are struggling to find an identity on offense, right?
Yep.
I don't think either
And
team
both have
kind of
great
knows.
defense.
Yeah, absolutely. This is probably gonna be another low scoring game. I think both teams are trying to figure out what they want to be or who they're going to be. So it's going to be interesting. I'm rocking with Paris in this game. I think when you look at that week 1 game and they only lost by 2 points, as bad as they played, and they played a little bit better, still struggles. Obviously, you saw they could score 24 points in one quarter, and they could be as low as 0 points for most of the game. But I don't think they're going to score that many points against the Fire defense, because I think they have a good defense as well too. But I think Paris, and maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but I feel like this week is a must-win for Paris. You know, you've had a far schedule. You've gone Fire, Surge, Galaxy, now Fire, and then you got to go back to the Galaxy. You got to split these series. You're going to have the easiest schedule on the back end, minus the 2 games versus Vienna, but you got to split these series. And the fact that they already lost to the Fire, the fact that they already lost to the Fire week 1, they got to win this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. They definitely have to win this game. And for the love that I have for some of the Paris players and also people around the organization, the REID company, I wish for them to win this game. Always shout out to REID company. Great organization, great stuff. But as you can see from the game picks, I'm rolling with Rhein Fire for this one. I think there is no way that the Rhein Fire are going to be okay losing 2 games in a row, coming off a season where they were champions, back-to-back champions, as we've said probably 10,000 times already in the preparation for, through the season. And, so, I don't think they lose 2 in a row. I think they are working hard on finding a solution for the running game, and they have probably one of the best receiver group. They have Starkey, who you called him out last week. You said he needs to show up. He was showing up in that 4th quarter. Of course,
he answered the
they
call.
weren't able to finish up. They weren't able to finish up the game in the end, but Starkey put up that touchdown. That was like 60 yards, and also some other important grab for first downs and stuff. Kofi, is there anything else that we need to say about Kofi? Jordan Bua, is there anything else that we need to say about Jordan Bua? So I think it's going to be a tough defensive matchup again, but the Rhein Fire are going to edge their way over the Paris Musketeers for this one, even just because their offense has that star power to win this matchup, and they need to win this matchup. There's no way you're losing the first 2 home games. The first 2 home games as back-to-back champions, that's not happening. I don't see that happening, and if it does, it's going to be a tough start for Rhein Fire that they need to bounce back from. But I believe it won't happen.
I can't make a bold statement right here.
Yes, sir. You always can.
There we go. Week 4, we're going to timestamp this on the First Down Magazine, the show. Loser of this game misses the playoffs.
Oh.
Loser.
I'm going to set a reminder on my phone.
Set a reminder. Drop in the comments. Call me crazy. Loser of this game misses the playoffs.
They ain't even in the same division. This is all Golden State.
Nope, not in the same division. But when you look at, obviously, the Galaxy and what they have to go through, it's already documented. There's no need to keep hammering the nail. And you look at the Fire, you still got to play Vienna again. Obviously, you're playing Paris now. If you lose this game, that's 2 losses on the season. And you've just lost to Vienna. That's going to be a tough game. And you have to go to Vienna. So let's just say if they lose that game, that's 3 losses, right? You still got to play the Storm twice. And we know the Stormers looking forward to this Rhein Fire game. All right. So is it possible? Yeah, it's possible that both teams could potentially still make it. But I'm making a statement now. A loser of this game is going to miss the playoffs.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But yeah.
They're probably the 2 toughest schedules that there is. Fire and Paris have the 2 toughest schedules, so I can see that.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll get back to this. But now I need you to tell me what's the game of the week for this week, man.
Oh, game of the week. Game of the week. This is, people are so quick to jump into calling something a rivalry, and I like to give things time. I like to prep my steak and my vegetables before I cook it and let it sizzle on the grill. And I need a couple years of good football to see this. And I think even though the record says one thing, I think the physicality in this game and the attitude in this game says another. But the Munich Ravens going to Stuttgart is officially one of the newest rivalries, in my opinion, and is the game of the week this week. It's a game that we all have to keep our eyes on because you're looking at two teams that were once in the same division, right? Mm-hmm. In the Kentrell Ellison era at Munich, he's only been there a year. He's yet to beat the Surge, right? He lost, I think it was 22-5 week one last year, and then the second game lost 38-22. So obviously he found something. He found something to find a way to score more points in that second game. All right. This is a new team. I'm telling you, Munich has a new identity despite the two teams that they played. Obviously, you see who the Raiders are doing. You see what Berlin is. You make your own opinion on that. But Munich versus Surge, it's the nightcap on Sunday. It's going to be a beautiful game. Pretty girl at the dance type of game. And I can't wait to watch this. I'm rocking with the Surge. I'm rocking with the Surge.
I am too. That's what I wanted to ask you. Like, is this a upset alert game / they're gonna split the series game or what? Because we're both rocking with the Surge. The only guy that's going with Munich is our crazy head Matt Bressinson. So,
absolutely, I think looking at this game, and don't get me wrong, I was close to picking Munich. I couldn't find that itch. Like, and it's documented on here, and I had people reach out to me like, "Oh, you're crazy. Like, I called Paris over Surge. I called Frankfurt over Paris." People were like, there's no way that was going to happen, and it did. I'm not saying I'm going to be right all the time, but sometimes you just got to watch the film and matchups make fights. This game is going to tell us a lot about Russell Tabor, and it's ultra aggressive in that first game. Obviously, threw a couple picks. Overthrew Malik Stanley a couple times in his receivers. Second game was a little bit better. Still, sometimes can be reckless, throwing the ball. Surge are going to find a way to either double or limit Malik Stanley. So now who's your next option? Right? You could trust Justin Rodney in the run game, right? Do you start looking more towards Marvin Roosh? And you're going against a Surge defense that is, just ask Tala Tagovailoa how crazy that defense is. They always get first year quarterbacks problems, the Surge defense. And we talk about guys to watch. Russell Tabor is going to be my guy to watch in this game because how he plays is going to dictate the success for Munich, right? Another game to keep an eye on, little rivalry or maybe a little comeback, Tommy Awewu. Right, playing against his old team. We'll see. Hey, I'm gonna drop a question for you. Who has more rushing yards, Justin Rodney or Tommy Awewu? You guys, let me know.
Bro, do you wanna have an answer right now? I'm saying Rodney has from 60, around 60, something like that. I'm saying Tomiwa goes over 100.
Over 100 on the. Remember, we're talking about a Munich defense too.
I know. But I really like Tomiwa, and I know he's like a mentality type guy. So playing against his former team, he's gonna want to show up. He's gonna want to be the guy. And Absolutely. Of course, he doesn't make the calls because he's not the head coach. But I think he's gonna be asking for the rock, and I think he's gonna be making great stuff happen with it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things matchup-wise you can point to in this game, but I think Kentrell Ellison, what he is doing, at least from what we saw the first two games of Munich. He is on the verge of attempting to build something similar to 2022 Hamburg Sea Devils, which has been, even to this day, the best defense ever in the European League of Football, in the 5 years of the European League of Football. Now, on the other hand, Kyle Callahan, the offensive coordinator, he's doing something that we haven't seen since year one when the Tyrol Raiders came into play. And his passing game has developed. It's more vertical. It used to be dink and dunk. Quarterback has to get into a rhythm, take your shots when you can. He'll throw it deep on the first play, right? There's a I don't give a attitude to this Munich team, and that's what makes this game so exciting. And I'm excited to watch. But Serge home, I think that Paris loss woke him up a little bit. This is a team that's well rested. Starters haven't played a full game, have played only one full game. I think Serge, if they split it, Munich is going to win at home. I think Serge get the win this week.
Nice. Like, last question before we close off the episode. Who is your must-start player for fantasy this week? We know there's a cap on fantasy, so who's everybody's player that should be in everybody's formation?
Absolutely. Must start. And this is all about matchups, not just how he performed last week. I'm gonna give you two guys. I'm gonna give you two guys. I feel like there's two guys to kind of keep an eye on. Obviously, Justice Seelig. You saw what he did last week versus Helvetic. He's going up against an Enthroners defense that hasn't.
Is he playing this week though? Because I heard from the fact that he's got a scholarship and stuff.
That is true.
In the United States, I don't know if he's playing this week. That's what I'm concerned with.
And that's why I want to give you two, because if he's not playing this week, if he's playing this week, and we're not going to know probably till it gets close to it, but if he's playing, must start. And he has the best value. He has the best capital value out of any running back in the European League of Football. If he doesn't play, and you're looking for a quarterback, and you're looking for a matchup, Matthew McKay is the guy. Matthew McKay is the guy. He's going up against a Cologne defense that's given up 60 points a game, right? Yeah. So, and this offense, ever since that second half of that Surge game, has been explosive. Despite what, the scores have been, whether giving up leads, this offense has been explosive. I would rock with McKay. Actually, I'm going to rock with McKay as my quarterback in fantasy this week. I think it's one of the best matchups this week.
Here's my question though. Wouldn't you want to start Sandro because of garbage time risk? Like, if you put up a lot of points early, maybe they might pull McKay and stuff. Well, I think Sandro is going to be crucial to rush up the game, let the clock run, and let it finish. And he can put even like an extra, 30, 40, 50 yards and a touchdown after it's garbage time, just because they might keep him in and to finish up the job.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfectly fair. At the same time, in one half against a Paris Musketeer defense that we think is, one of the best defenses in the league, he put up 20-some points, and 3 touchdowns, all vertical downfield. I mean, hitting the void in cover 2 multiple times. So he's not afraid to throw deep. He's also not afraid to run it. This is a guy that suffered a broken leg last year, and you see he has confidence now. He's not afraid to run it. So I think McKay would be the play, even if he does play a half or if he plays, 3/4 of the game. I think McKay would be the play, especially if Sandro is playing. That's going to open up the pass game because you're going to want to stop the run if you're a true defensive player.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, we're closing off the episode. Thank you so much, Jamal, for popping up again for game picks and also for the interview with REID. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed from the vlog all the way through the episode. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment. As Jamal said, locker room, leave a comment in the conversation. And then, subscribe to the channel to give us a positive feedback, because it takes time to make these videos, and it's always appreciated to get some feedback back. And, that's it. We're good.
Most definitely. Take care.